back to Presley Mania. Last week I left you guys and I told you there was a little bit of upheaval going on in the Priscilla Presley partners, i.e. Brigitte Cruz versus Priscilla Presley lawsuit in Orange County, Florida. So I want to bring you up to date on what I have found out so far. It isn't a whole lot, but I promised an update, so here it is. Okay, two things happened on August 21st. First of all, there was a date set for an evidentiary hearing between Priscilla Presley Partners and Priscilla Presley, and it was set for November 13th of 2024. Whether that still stands or not, I kind of have my doubts. I'm not sure it does. So let me tell you what also happened on the 21st of August. Brigitte Cruz, her lawyers, Green Spoon Martyr LLP, has submitted a motion that they are wanting to resign as the lawyers for Priscilla Presley Partners and all of the other companies that they had filed, which there is a list of them: PBPBK2 LLC, Virtual Recollections of Priscilla Presley, and Recollections of Priscilla Presley LLC, and then of course Priscilla Presley Partners LLC. They state in what they have submitted to the court that there are irreconcilable differences between them and Brigitte Cruz and Kevin Fialco, that whole group of people that is suing Priscilla. That doesn't seem like it's going to bode well. I have not found anything with who they're going to be replaced with, but I checked just before I decided to come on and do my video, and they have set a hearing date for Wednesday, September 4th at 8:30 a.m. And it says, "You are hereby notified that Green Spoon Martyrs LLP's motion to withdraw as counsel for plaintiffs will be called up for hearing before John E. Jordan at the Orange County Courthouse." And it lists the address as 425 Orange Avenue in Orlando, Florida. And it says it will be on Wednesday, September 4th at 8:30 or as soon thereafter as it may be heard for a motion calendar hearing. And so I guess we will see what's going to happen. The other thing that I saw posted, there were two on the website where you can go and, you know, it's got a list of everything that's going on in the case. The next thing said was filed as of August 28th, which was yesterday, and it says notice of hearing canceled. And then there was another one right above it, but I am not able to click on it. It will not allow me to tell me what is canceled. So I don't know if the hearing that is set for September 4th is canceled, and also the hearing for November 13th has been canceled. But it looked to me as if there were two that had been canceled, and I'm guessing it is probably both of them. And maybe it has something to do with the holiday coming up Monday, and they're wanting to try to push it out a little bit longer. So hopefully we will have some more updates on everything going on really, really soon. But in the meantime, life does go on. And Brigitte is still very busy with GWS auctions, apparently. So there is going to be an auction on the 31st, and it is from GWS, and there are so many Elvis items in this auction. Well, I noticed that a lot of them seem to be repeats of things that have been auctioned previously from GWS. So what I'm wondering is did they not sell in a prior auction because they're back up for bid again? So is that what happens if they don't get the amount of money they want, that they pull it and they save it for another time? I don't know, but I'm not real sure how auctions work. I probably need to do a little bit more research on that end so I can let you guys know. But we're going to get into some of the things that they're auctioning that were Elvis's here in a little bit. But there is also a statement on GWS, their website, that I think is important that we read because it is addressing the conflict between Brigitte and Priscilla. Now, there has also been some, you remember back in the news, there was NBC reported that on Elvis's black grommet jacket, that there were some issues with that apparently there had been a duplicate made that GWS had auctioned off. Whether it is an actual duplicate or not, I have no way of knowing, but Graceland is saying that the jacket GWS has is a fake and they have the original, and there are some differences in ways you can state. Elvis's jacket was made by someone I believe called IC Costume, and that is what they have at Graceland. And funny little fact, when I was there for Elvis Week, guess what jacket they had on display on Elvis's stairway? Yep, the black grommet jacket. Sure enough, there it was, big as life. A statement? I don't know. You tell me what y'all think about that. I think it kind of was. It's like out of everything, all the jackets they could have picked to display, as soon as you walk in that front door and look at the stairway, which one is it? It's the black grommet jacket. That wasn't, there were two things on display on that stairway, but that one was on a lower stair, and then up above it was an outfit he wore, I think it was probably back in 69, 70 would be my guess, and it was like some black slacks filled with a blue shirt, and I've seen pictures of him in it, and it was like Elvis coming down the stairs wearing his everyday attire. You know, he's just home, and that was very cool getting to see all of those things displayed. They had, I'm kind of digressing a little bit but I'll get back to it. They had so many of his suits and things displayed all over the house, and it was just super cool, and it just kind of gave you a feeling of, you know, him being there and what it must have been like to, you walk into a room and there are a couple of his outfits or one outfit on display for you to look at. So anyway, but anyhow, they had the black grommet jacket on display, and I just found that it just struck me a little odd. I mean, as soon as I walked in that door, I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, there are many to choose from, and they chose that. So anyhow, back to GWS. They have put up a notice on their website about the conflict between Brigitte and Priscilla, and I think it's only right that I read it to y'all. And it says July 25th, 2024, and it says Brigitte Cruz and Priscilla Presley met several years under circumstances unrelated to the sale of Elvis Presley memorabilia at auction. Because of her unique position in the Elvis Presley space, Miss Cruz was made aware of certain ultimately unsubstantiated claims and assertions relative to Elvis Presley's legacy and estate. Miss Cruz was instrumental in vetting, paying for, and disproving such claims, and her efforts inured her to the benefit of Elvis Presley's reputation and estate. The personal and business disputes involved in the Florida lawsuit commenced against Miss Presley and Miss Presley's recently filed retaliatory lawsuit in California will be resolved in court. Those disputes and the litigation do not involve GWS auctions, and GWS is not a party in any litigation involving Miss Presley. GWS has been unfairly maligned and its reputation harmed by certain misinformed and overzealous media dragging GWS's name into these controversies. While Ms. Cruz categorically denies any elder financial abuse of Ms. Presley, those allegations do not involve GWS. Ms. Cruz's personal and business relationships with Ms. Presley are separate and distinct from GWS. Ms. Cruz is not an owner of GWS. Although GWS did receive letters of recollection from Ms. Presley regarding certain lots from the Colonel Tom Parker collection, those letters provided additional support and provenance, and GWS believed that they were of historical value to collectors, particularly when combined with supporting materials provided directly from Colonel Parker's estate. Ms. Presley's name was associated with the Colonel Parker collection, and because she was there in real time, while GWS was preparing for the auction of the Colonel Parker collection, EPE Graceland offered to authenticate certain lots for a fee. Because GWS was satisfied with its own due diligence, as well as the strength of the provenance associated with items in the Colonel Parker collection, GWS elected not to pay a fee for additional authentication of those items. Additionally, Ms. Presley's name was inscribed on one of the pieces, and she maintained a close relationship with Colonel Parker up until the time of his passing. Ms. Presley's recollections about these pieces were very clear. Additionally, GWS has access to extensive and pertinent records related to Colonel Parker and the Colonel Parker collection. NBC recently aired a segment that focused on GWS auctions and its sale of Elvis Presley memorabilia. Although denied by NBC, the airing of the segment appears to have been timed to coordinate with a filing by Ms. Presley in litigation involving Ms. Cruz and others, but unrelated to GWS. GWS and Ms. Cruz cooperated with NBC and gave NBC access to various records, including records of sales, correspondence with Graceland Archives, and provenance. Ms. Cruz also participated in a lengthy interview with NBC reporter Chloe Mealis, most of which was not included in the segment that NBC chose to broadcast. In advance of the interview, NBC inquired about the authenticity and provenance of Elvis-related artifacts sold through GWS, and GWS provided materials supporting the provenance for dozens of items. When the segment aired, no references were made to the documentation provided by GWS. Instead, NBC included comments by Joel Weinshanker and Elvis Presley Enterprises Incorporated questioning the accuracy of the description for two items previously offered for sale by GWS. NBC failed to note that EPE is a business enterprise and was a competitor of GWS that attempted to promote its own auctions prior to Graceland Auctions ceasing its operations. NBC also failed to note that part of EPE's business model involves the fee-based authentication of Elvis Presley artifacts. EPE is not the only source of expertise with respect to Elvis Presley memorabilia. While experts can legitimately form different opinions regarding the authenticity of any item in any asset class, GWS stands behind everything that it sells and categorically denies trafficking in fake or inauthentic items distributed to Elvis Presley or otherwise. Through innuendo and without proof, a shadow has been unfairly cast over GWS and its operation for over 15 years of stellar service to its consignors, bidders, and buyers. GWS Auctions is one of the most respected and reputable names in the Elvis Presley marketplace. GWS stands behind everything that it has sold in the Elvis Presley space and otherwise, all of which has passed GWS's strict internal qualification standards. Okay, well, it said right there that there were 2 items questioned, and one of them was indeed the black grommet jacket. They also went on to say that NBC did not air all of the segment, and they felt like that there was some timing issues. They also go on to say how that what they sell, they stand behind. Of course they have to say that. And we will see over time what comes to fruition with all of this. But I have heard a lot of things just in passing from different people, and a lot has been questioned with some things that they have sold. And I am very interested in the Colonel Tom Parker collection that GWS was able to get a hold of, and that was done with Priscilla. So I know that Greg McDonald had a part of that collection, if not all of it. I don't know. He has since passed on. He worked hand in hand with the Colonel for many years. I have the Colonel's book, a book about the Colonel that Greg McDonald wrote. I am about to delve into that to see if I can find any more information about those auctioned items and items that they are trying to auction from GWS that were part of the Colonel's collection. So I'm going to start digging into that this weekend, and I will let you guys know what I find out. So I thought that was pretty interesting, that they've also said Brigitte is not an owner of GWS, that her affiliation with Priscilla is completely separate from them. You know, from a business standpoint, they have to separate themselves from her because their business needs to survive, you know, whether she's in the mix or whether she isn't. So I guess only time will tell, after all of these court cases have played out, what is going to happen with GWS Auctions and Brigitte Cruz's involvement with them and everything that's, you know, going on. So stay tuned, y'all. I'll be letting you know. But some of the things that are for sale, GWS has what they call artifacts of Hollywood and music. And from time to time, they take these items and they put them up for auction. So I'm going to click on the view auction. And one of the things that they have that I really would like to know more about, it's Elvis Presley's metal mailbox cover from his Hillcrest home, and it's really super cool. I'm going to try to show it to you, but I don't know. I'm not real sure you're going to be able to tell much about it. Okay. Oh, no. You're not going to be able to. It's too much of a glare. It is so cool. I think that would be so fun to like mount on a wall with a picture of the mailbox that it was actually on here. You may be able to see this better. This is actually it mounted on the mailbox. I don't know. Can you see the brick? I don't know. I don't think that's going to be... I apologize, guys. I should have printed it off. It would have been a lot easier to see that way. But if you go to the GWS auction website and click on the Hollywood Archives, Hollywood, whatever it was that I just said, let me get back to it. Hang on a minute. You will be able to see all of the things that they have up for auction. So let me get out of this. Artifacts of Hollywood and Music. That's what it's called. But they have that, and they have a front yard light from his Hillcrest home. They have bathroom scales from his Hillcrest Road home. They have a microphone from the 1969 Las Vegas engagement. They also have Elvis and Priscilla Presley's champagne glass from their wedding. And apparently, the way they got a hold of that, because I read up on it a little bit, is that one of the ladies who was working the wedding, when they were cleaning up, she took one of the glasses, and they had it authenticated, and they got a letter of authentication of how she got it and all of those kind of things. So anyhow, that's some of the things they have. There is also another item that is of interest to me. Tish Henley, they have this book with a letter of provenance from Tish Henley, and it was the book, The Prophet, that Elvis gave out to a lot of people. He read that book so often, and they have it for auction. And it even has a picture where Elvis had written in it a note to Tish. And let me see if I can find. Let me look in my photos, because I think I took a picture of it. Oh, I did indeed. Okay. And it is the book, The Prophet, and he had written in it to Tish. And I don't know if this is something she is recently giving to them, or if it's something that she had sold previously and they're just now getting a hold of it and someone else is selling it again. But he had written in the book to Tish, my personal savior in the middle of the night. And she was Elvis's nurse. I know many of you are aware of that. I actually got to meet her when we went to Graceland for Elvis Week. So I don't know the story behind it. I am very curious about it. You know, people sell their Elvis memorabilia for all sorts of reasons, and some because they need the money at the time or whatever. I find it hard to believe that that is something she would have wanted to part with, but I'm sure she had her reasons for doing so. But oh my goodness, wouldn't that be so cool to own that? I'm really interested in it. Let me tell you a little bit about the bids. The minimum bid is $1,000, and currently, well, as of last night, there were no bids on it. I find that weird. And the bid increments, you have to bid in increments of $100. So if I were to place a bid for $1,000, which I'm not going to, then you wanted to outbid me, then your next bid would have to be at least $100 more than that, so $1,100, and they just keep going up from there. So yeah, I'm going to be curious to see if that actually sells during the auction, or if, like some of these other items, they will be brought back out for a later date. So y'all, that is all I have for this episode. There is always something going on in the Elvis world. So I hope you will continue to stay tuned to Presley Mania. If you like what you see here, please be sure and hit that subscribe button and the bell. And if you do so, you hit that bell, it will notify you every single time that I have a new show that has been uploaded. So anyway, stay tuned, guys. There will be lots more coming, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And remember, you only get one shot at this life, so live each day to the fullest, because we never know what tomorrow's going to bring. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.